Hello, this is Sherry here from Paper, Paint, and Stitches, and I've got some little journals to show you. If you saw my last video, you saw this little journal right here. I made it out of scraps, and I was practicing trying to get the angle with my new camera right, and so I'm still practicing. So I've got it set up differently today, and I've got a few more of these little books that I made out of scraps to show you. And I mentioned that I made the cover, the inside cover of that other journal out of Franken pages. So in case you don't know what those are, they're pages that you take just your scraps and sew them together. You start out with the way I do it, I start out with a piece of paper as a background, and then I just sew bits and pieces onto it, and you can make them out of anything. This one I started with a piece of paper music paper, I think it's wrapping paper, that I had stenciled on just doing some playing, and then I added all kinds of book pages. It doesn't really matter which direction you turn it, because you're going to have something going the right direction any way you go. And then I stenciled over it and did the stitching around each edge of the pages. And it's really simple to do. My granddaughter did this when she's 8. She's learning how to use the sewing machine, so I told her to pick out some scraps, and she chose this as her background paper. It's a map. We used shoe polish on it, and then she sewed it all together, and it turned out really cute. So that's what I've used as the cover of 2 of these little books, and I'll show you how cute they've turned out to be. They're basically just scraps. Also, get this on the other side, and I sewed some lace on the edge, and I stitched the signatures in. It's got 2 signatures. I stitched them in first and then put the lace on the outside. And I didn't do anything to this cover because I thought it was cute the way it was. So I just stitched on a scrap of this fabric, and I can't tell you what the name of it is because I can't pronounce it. The ladies at Hobby Lobby call it Ossenberg or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, I like it because it's nice and ravelly and kind of feels like linen or something. But anyway, here's the inside. And I did just sew some plain paper onto the back of this Franken page, so that's why it's plain inside. And here's a fabric pocket and a little booklet I made out of just some of the paper they wrap your glass things up in at Hobby Lobby. And I sewed it with the sewing machine. Oops, I'm not in. Sorry. I'm having to get used to this. I sewed it together with the sewing machine and folded it over, and then just tied it with a little piece of string. Let me see if I can get that in better now. Alright, then the rest is just the scraps, like I said. This is out of a children's book from school, and that's tracing paper, made a paper ruffle, and just little bits and pieces of all kinds of scraps. Some fabric out of some things my mom gave me, and that, I don't know, it's some kind of a music book, and there's some more fabric scraps and map page. There's some washi tape, pattern instructions, and vintage lace, and just yellow writing paper. And this came out of something about counties in Alabama, a book about that. And then here's just the other sides of the pages, and there's a few places where I've tucked in things. A little tab made out of that fabric. And this is a canasta scorecard. I found a pile of those somewhere. And then here's a little pocket sewn in, and a note card tucked in there, not attached in there. And this was embossed and inked, and then I sewed a writing surface onto that. And this is just a piece of junk mail envelope. And this has a piece of coffee dyed paper tucked in, dictionary page, a piece of a card that goes around invitations or something. I bought a box of discarded wedding invitation stuff at the thrift store, and that was part of it. So it was, I don't know, I think you slipped something inside of it, but I cut it open and used it like that. And then this page, this comes off and you can flip this out, and this little card is just tucked in there. So you can make some really neat things with just your scraps. A little envelope and a little tiny belly band. Here's some more of that scrap paper. I just stitched it in there. It makes a little tablet. Just more writing surfaces. And here's a postcard. I think it's a Tsunami Rose postcard with a Bible verse on it, and a recipe, and then just a scrap of coffee dyed paper, and another little pocket. And that makes that one. And when I was going to say, this one has 2 signatures. It turned out to be plenty. There's 80 writing surfaces if you count fronts and backs of all the pages. And it's about a 5x7 book. And then this one is about 3 1/4 by 5 inches. And it just has 1 signature, but because it has the same number of pieces of paper in it, it's got 80 writing surfaces also. I just put a little definition out of the dictionary of beauty and some little bling here and some roses I cut out of some wrapping paper and sewed it together with a pamphlet stitch and tied it up. And these covers are not very thick. They seem to be plenty durable, but they're not too thick to sew on with the sewing machine, so I just sewed that on. And it's got a little pocket here with a card sewed inside, and then it's got some stamping. I just made these kind of plain because I was just using up scraps and I didn't do a whole lot, but it's got some stamping and coffee dyed papers. I love the house mouse stamps. They're so cute. They have stickers too. These old coffee dyed tablet papers. Just all different kinds of little things. I'm forgetting to look and see if I'm still in the recording area here, so if I get off, sorry about that. It's just a little piece of it's a card I printed out probably from Tsunami Rose. I have a lot of her digital kits, and that's just ribbon. Dictionary page, part of a receipt. This is out of the dictionary, and I sewed it onto ledger paper, and dragonflies stamped on there. Just lots of little places where I was trying out new stamps and playing with my stencils, and this just a scrap of paper and some cute sparkly trim. And that's an index card that's had butterflies punched into it. And let's see, got a few more things here that I used I think it's a Martha Stewart punch, but I'm not sure. I don't know. I've got drawers and drawers full of punches too, and I forget which ones are which sometimes. And there's the end, and there's a little pocket right there. You can slip that little piece of paper out, and there's that one. And then there's one more, and it's teeny tiny. I'll zoom in just a little bit where you can see it maybe, if I can figure out how to do this. Oh, that's going to be fun staying right in that little spot, isn't it? Okay, I will try. Alright, it's just got, this one has 11 pages, so you've got 44 actual writing surfaces, and it's just sewn in, and then the string is pulled around and wrapped around this button to close it up, and it's just tiny. I love it. I think it's so cute. It only measures 2 1/4 by 3 1/4, but it's got a lot of stuff in it for a little thing that size. So, if I can kind of keep my fingers out of the way, you might be able to see it. This little bitty stuff. Little stamp. I thought this turned out cute. I don't know what in the world I'd do with it except just look at it, but I thought it was cute. And this is off the packaging from the cards that Tim Holtz puts out. None of the cards would fit in here, I don't think, but the picture of them on the package was perfect. Never throw anything away. And then this is some of his paper dolls, I think they call them on the package. I'm not sure. From the Tim Holtz stuff. A little stamp. And then this is a quote I found about journaling, and I use it on a little page I put in all of my journals. It says, a personal journal is an ideal environment in which to become. It is a perfect place to think, feel, discover, expand, remember, and dream. And that's from Brad Wilcox. I'm not sure who that is, but I like that quote. There's another little tiny stamp. And this is book page from a copy of Charles Dickens' Great Expectations. There's some little scraps to tuck in. Well, I didn't get them back in right. Now, it's so little it's hard to turn the pages. Now, okay, and just a little piece of fabric stapled on there. And I love that stamp, hot air balloon. And you can open that up and write something on it. And there they are. 3 little books made out of scraps. Just goes to show you what you can do if you have a little time. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you have a blessed day. And come back and see me again sometime at Paper, Paint, and Stitches. Bye.